Well, hi everybody. I'm finally back again. Real deal around town is finally back around town to do some videos. So I owe you so many. I'm so sorry I've been away from the recording studio, so to speak. If you want to call this a recording studio, I don't know. But anyway, um, I'm here and we're going to be talking about trash contract stuff. We're not quite at the real trash contract stage. Well, they are. They're in conversations. Tonight is what is today? The 14th of January, and there was a joint meeting between the Board of Health and the Board of Selectmen. They met in our town hall room 2, if you're familiar with that. And we had Shaw's, the contractor who picks up our trash, was also there. It was a very productive meeting. I have to commend everybody that attended, even the people who hate my guts. But I commend everybody for most of everything that happened. Everybody kept their cool. Things got only minimally testy. It's fine. But there's progress being made. I do have some concerns. Actually, what I'm going to be doing once I get rolling here is I'm going to be pulling up my video from attending that meeting tonight, and I'm going to do more of a commentary along the meeting. I'm going to play it for the most part, but then stop it here and there to make commentary rather than just let the video run and you have to figure out what the hell they're talking about. I do want to just point out a couple of concerns that I have. I think most everybody in the room learned something tonight about the cost of trash and how it works. Some of it being just the logistics of how trash gets picked up and the costs associated with that, as well as what the options are, and a little bit about, the proper way to budget the trash. And I'll explain that later. And then options that we have. One of the big concerns that I've had for a year, maybe longer, is I have to. The only person who makes me really nervous about this trash stuff is Veronica Kell, who's on the Board of Selectmen. She's been campaigning for about 4 or 5 years to remove trash from the town budget. Um, and she says it so often that she's. I'm really afraid that if things are too chaotic, that might happen, and which means we'd all have to contract out ourselves individually. That is not a good deal. It'll cost everybody more than any other form of trash payment. And the town really doesn't save that much. One thing that came up tonight that I presented was the trash from town hall, trash from our town buildings can't be funded by the residents. It's part of the basic tax base, and you can't remove it from that. We can't purple bag ourselves into paying for the town hall trash pickup. That needs to remain in the tax base. We always will have a line item there as long as the town hall produces trash, and they're not going to get the employees to take the trash home with them. So forget that. So that is an important piece that Veronica Kell needs to keep ahead. But all of us do. Every single person who votes needs to know how this works. And that's been my mission all year for the last 10 months or so, to educate everybody as much as I possibly can about how this works. But Veronica Kell, which you will see and hear, has been campaigning for no trash no trash for. Oh, she's talking again about trash fees. That got put to bed, I thought, but of course we have a new board of selectmen again. But last year, the trash fee business was being proposed by Chaz Sexandranian, and Joe Shank was going along with anything that Chaz said because he wasn't paying any attention to anything. But I mean, that's a whole nother story. But the implementation, our town administrator at the time, I think Ross was doing things then, realized that, and I saw it, that having a trash fee is very costly to implement. You can't just do it on a fly. You have to. It takes months of preparation and trying to figure out what do you charge for the trash fee, And again, it's only residential, and you cannot use that money to pay for municipal trash, only residential. And then you have to manage it. And you have to keep tabs on every single household to make sure that they're participating properly in the program. And that takes staff. We don't have that. We have to hire people, and the cost of administering it, and keeping the finances going, collecting fees, and dealing with scofflers, people who aren't paying. I mean, that's crazy. And we lose accountability. We can't trying to figure out how much everything costs. It is going to be hard to track, and the townspeople won't get a really good accounting. It'll take a lot to get it. More than just looking at the budget. Believe me, it will be harder for even Veronica's got this idea that everything's easy, so that we can't do the trash fees, and I don't want to see us lose trash. I don't want to see us having to pay individually to have trash picked up. And I know Laura Schifrin doesn't like that either, because her and I are about on the same level of trash, putting out trash to the street. Neither one of us can really afford I think Lori's got a lot of money, but that's just me. No, I don't think that she wants to spend her money on trash that she's not throwing away. So I think she likes the purple bags probably more than I do. I love the purple bags. I know some people hate that I like the purple bags, but that out of all the options that are coming down the pike, purple bags is heaven sent, and we can make it better. I'm absolutely certain we can make purple bags better than it is, as far as the cost to each of us and how it's going to be managed. Let me finally get to the video. Okay. I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to let it start to run, and we'll go from there. Can you see it? I think we're good. Oh, now I got to, where is it? Oh, man. I got to find it again. It's here. Don't worry.
I guess this is, if we're talking about the contract, I would like to know, basically, what the town can afford is what we're able to bring in with these. That's what we can afford. We managed to handle this 1-year extension because we gave up 200 to 300,000 of ARPA funds that had been committed elsewhere, but not under contract. So that is what's funding it. The other thing is that the contract we had is for picking up in the entire town. And we had a lot of people that did not participate in the purple bags. Now, what I heard you say is that that's changing. People are going back to purple bags. But I know that if you drive around town on a Wednesday, you can see everybody that's doing private pickup. So I would want the amount reduced by some percentage, considering that people are going to be doing their own payment. That said, I do think there's an interest in having trash pickup in town. The problem is it can't be any more funded with tax dollars. Has to be purple bag fees. So do we have a number for October, November, and December? Carla, how much has come in with purple bags?
As far as revenue, you would have to ask the treasurer that. I don't have.
Okay, I'm going to pipe back in here and just mention a couple things. I believe at this point in the meeting, she was looking at, or she has been all along, looking at the total line item of trash pickup, which includes the municipal buildings. And that number is around $800,000 for town trash. Now, one interesting thing that I've been going in my head, very round figure. I think I'm probably a little bit high, not high as a like high and drug high, but I mean, just my numbers I think were a little high, and I think so are hers. But the she mentioned 200 to 300,000 is what she said we were short on, but really what Department of Revenue was telling the town based on their estimation, which is a difficult place. But so that's why the number 200 to 300,000 is probably in reality of what things cost and what we'll end up with at the end of the year. But just for a budgetary purpose, the 200 to 300,000's close. But that's around, it's, the 200,000 is the number that I've been thinking about as being associated with municipal trash, because our departments are throwing away more trash. Their tonnage is more than what you and I at our house is throwing away. I'm Me and Lori Schifrin, she said 5 to 6 weeks on one purple bag. She's better than I am. I'm 4 to 5. I didn't put trash out today. So it'll be 5 weeks for me. I know that my trash will be full next week. So I know I'll be at a 5 week. I've been at it 4. But anyway, we don't need to talk about my trash. But the fire department produces a lot of trash. The highway department produces a lot of trash. Town hall, they got a dumpster out there. It's a small one. I'm impressed. I think it used to be bigger. I could be wrong, but I think that town hall is apparently doing better. I don't know, but we got the library, senior center. We got the it's around the corner from me. I can't remember the it's a little house. I forgot the name of it. But we've got different buildings around town that are town operated that they shouldn't, us at home, my $3.50 purple bag, I should not be funding municipal buildings. I should be funding. We all should. We're all responsible to pay for municipal trash, the town hall and all that. But it is proper for it to be in the tax bill. If Veronica Kell was successfully able to convince her partners on the Board of Selectmen to get rid of trash collection to save money, she's barking up the wrong tree, because that 200,000 estimate that I'm coming up with is still going to be there. She's going to have to fund it from the tax base. She can't sell any purple bags to cover it. And she can't tell people to take their trash home with them. It's the town, we have to pay for, we all do. And it's got to be on the budget. And it is improper to use purple bag money to pay for town hall trash, because the purple bags are for residential only. If you do it the other way, then it is double taxation. To me, it's a violation of 2.5%, because we're paying a user fee for the town hall. No. That's that. But she was talking about ARPA money. That, yeah, I think we had a budget crisis. We're still in it. I'm not going to go into it deeply right now, but they had to make some shifts around with this ARPA money, which is a temporary bunch of money the federal government gave us post-COVID. But I'm not going to go into a lot of that. But they had to move budget numbers around in order to use the ARPA money to what she calls fund trash. But the trash use funding was the full boat, the 800,000. Not just residential trash. The reason that her, and I don't know who else is in her placeholder there, thinks that the purple bags aren't covering the trash. It won't. You're right, Veronica, and it never will, because we're not. The purple bags can't be used to cover municipal trash. So that 200,000 that you're short, that Department of Revenue is telling you you're short, is correct. But that means if that's all we're short, then we're doing a good job, because the purple bags are covering the residential trash that Shaw's is picking up. And Glen Shaw did say trash is down a little bit. That some people bailed out, but also people are being more cognizant of what's going in those purple bags, and they're putting more in recycling. There's still some issues with learning what needs to be recycled, but they are doing a better job. And that's one of the big benefits of having a purple bag program. Trust me. And I've been talking about it. I'm going to keep talking about it. Please love the purple bags like I do. Okay, I'm going to pick up the meeting some more if I can get this to I got to find it again. There
That information available at this time, but the tonnage has gone down from approximately 200 tons to 130 tons.
That's significant. And is
Recycling
that
go up?
because people are recycling
has
more?
gone down.
On down to.
It's gone down too.
So the difference would be the people that are not participating in pay-as-you-throw is what I would deduce from that.
What I do notice is even though some people aren't putting purple bags out, they're still putting out recycling. And there's still a cost for Glen to pick up that recycling. So it's not like he can eliminate 1,000 people from the program. I'm not sure what the number is. What was it, 4,100 people roughly? Households that you pick up?
32, 3,100.
31, okay.
Right around 3,200.
32.
Is that the entire town?
Yes.
Excluding, is there the multifamily buildings?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I guess what I'm saying is whoever is on Zoom, please mute yourself.
Credit card debt. General purpose credit cards usually have a lower interest rate, but retail stores and sponsored cards can be checked.
That sounds like
Who's that?
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Is that
It
better for
sounds
you
like
now?
Yes, that is better. Thank you.
So as far as picking up the trash, I still have to cover all the roads in the town of Townsend. So the service fee as far as picking the stuff up probably isn't going to change much. That's where you're gonna save all your money is in the disposal costs. If there's not as many people putting it out, then you won't pay for the disposal.
But that certainly is the fairest way of doing things, but I guess on the off chance that people are putting more tonnage out, then there's no ceiling to what our expenses would be versus a fixed cost at the moment.
Right.
So that's my concern for budgeting. If I don't know what the maximum cost of the trash hauling contract is gonna be, it's gonna.
Okay, I got a little bit more to say about this one. Let me bring myself back in. So he's concerned. I'm not quite sure what Nelson feels about where we're going with this. I think it's either he's just fearful and he's trying to be a good manager, which I'm going to give him the assumption that he is, but that he's trying to make his estimates big enough so that he's not going to be running ragged at the end when the money isn't going to show up. And I think he's exaggerating. He's been appropriate about it, but I think he's a little incorrect. He needs to calm down. And we need to separate, I think separating the budget items between town trash and residential trash will make it clearer because the purple bags ain't going to cut it. And it's not the purple bag problem that's causing the problem. It's the failure to notice the two types of trash. The purple bags are never going to cover the whole town. In fact, I think the 350 is too much. A lot of towns people aren't paying that much, but I don't know what they're doing. So anyway, but we're at the 350. So there we have it. But he's concerned about the tonnage is going to go up because people are going to shove more crap into these purple bags. And it's like, well, one of the Board of Health members is going to comment about that, to complain about the purple bags. They're really not bad. I've been using it. They do not cover everything. You can't change out your brakes and put them and put your whole car, your brakes, transmission. You can't throw all these big heavy items paint cans that are full of paint. I mean, you can't put heavy things into those purple bags. They have a weight limit to what they can handle. But knowing that they are more mils, I can't remember how many mils the plastic is, but it's twice as thick as a regular grocery bag that you're going to buy at the grocery store and put your trash in. Those are really flimsy, even the heavy duty ones. I mean, I don't think these are as heavy as the heavy duty contractor bags. There's two styles of contractor bags. One are light and one's heavy. We can't use those anymore because we can't put them out. But I think people, there's a weight limit. You can only get, I think it's 40 pounds, but nobody ever weighed their trash before, but we know we're grown-ups. We've dealing with trash bags for our whole lives, however old we are. And, there's a limit to how much you can put in any plastic bag. These are heavier than the regular ones, like I said, but I think Nelson Moy is over-exaggerating his concerns about people are going to put more tonnage in these plastic bags. Yeah, I try to put everything I can in there, but I know I'm not dealing with weight. I am very cognizant of the items that I'm putting in the trash because I am filling my bag when I put it out. I try to make sure that if I have things that have sharp edges, like say a yogurt cup, those are not recyclable. It's right on the outside, just so you know. But the Dan Fit and Trim or Light and Fit yogurt cups, they have a rough edge around it, and I won't put that just free roam into the purple bag because it's got sharp edges, and that will, with pressure on it, it will pierce the bag and cause a tear. I don't do that. I put it in something else, like an empty chip bag or something, or a bag for my bathroom trash. Something that's going to cushion sharp edges. I know I'm babbling too much, but these are things that people need to do with the purple bags to keep them from tearing. But you can't put it will not handle more than 40 pounds. So you got to be a little smart about what you're putting in there. I found when I do have it stuffed, I keep it in the barrel, a regular barrel. Only the first time did I put the bag outside of the barrel. And I said, I don't need to do that. I keep it in a barrel, and then they just dump the barrel. The bag won't rip that way. If in case it gets rough handling or in case I am a little bit high on the weight, I keep it in the trash barrel. That way, Charles only needs to dump the barrel at the street. It's not going to fall apart on them. We're all good. They can tell by what's in it that I'm doing the proper bags. There's nothing funny here. I'm not sneaking anything in. But the tonnage, there's only a limit. So I think his fear is over exaggerated on this one point. So I'm going to get back to our story. Let's see, play.
Very difficult for us to come up with
And then, like, how soon do you need the number?
I mean, we're right in the
We
middle.
thought we were getting it
A
today.
week?
Yeah,
Oh,
so, yeah, I mean, we're right in the middle of budget season right now. Like Veronica said, we were.
because I was hoping for another month to see what it's hard for,
Yeah.
the holidays. New Year's, your tonnage is always up on New Year's. Christmas trash, there's a lot of it, but it's not usually heavy.
Cindy, could you scoot to the left just a little bit with the chair, please?
But anyways,
Thank you.
We really should announce that someone else is recording.
but I could come up with a number like sooner than later, but as long as we're doing it, if you want a number the way we're doing it now, that's fine. Or you want an all-in number also?
I think both would make sense.
See,
Because like I said, I am concerned that, the option where the pickup fee and disposal fee is split. That disposal fee there's no limit to what it can be, so it puts the town in a bad spot to predict what our expenses are gonna be.
The revenue will go up though, if we have more tonnage, you'll sell more bags.
More people will try to squeeze more into each bag, so
Okay.
so that's why I'm really concerned.
They're
about.
really poor quality bags, they don't hold a lot of weight.
Oh,
I just fought with one this morning. So
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, if I may,
go ahead.
I have a few questions, regarding, having some numbers. Could we consider, I don't know if it is too soon for our next Board of Health meeting, have that proposal from Shaw's or, um, so that we can hand it over to the select board or?
Glenn, how long do you think it'll take you to get the number together?
Week.
Pardon
I
me?
can do it in a week.
You do it in a week.
I'll do it in a week.
Okay. That would be the, both options.
Yeah, I can do both options.
Okay. Are there any other tweaks where we wanted to consider? I think there was talks about every other week, but I don't think that really works for like the warm months, right? Like that's. Every other week will not work.
Why won't it? Because right now, if you're a household of 1 or 2 people, that's what
Which is a
you're
lot of
doing.
people.
And
But
we
In
have
the
a
summertime,
senior,
especially Veronica, you're gonna have rodent infestation, you're gonna have all kinds of problems because of rotted trash.
but you're gonna have that anyway because
Do it
you
on a
have
weekly
people-
basis, you minimize that opportunity. If you go every 2 weeks, it's going to be a mess. Can't do it.
And Glen needs more trucks to do that.
No, can't do it.
Why?
It's twice as much trash.
Not necessarily. No,
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna tell right here, I didn't say anything in the meeting, I'm saying it now. Jim LaQueer, you're wrong, sorry. I know you're all worried about maggots and stuff, and that's really not, I don't think that's a big problem. It is if you got trash piling up for weeks on end in months. One lousy bag of trash, leaving it for 4 weeks. Yeah, you get some flies. It starts to smell bad in the summer. And as a resident, it's going to suck. As residents in the summertime, we're going to figure something else out than letting our trash pile up for 5-6 weeks. Both Laura Schifrin and I'm confident we'll be throwing trash away more often because we're not going to tolerate that sitting in our barrel. But not because we got bugs. Well, they might be a problem, but that's not. I'm babbling. Sorry. But the issue is the cost, which Shaw's will bring up, and I also brought up in a moment. But letting trash pile up just because you don't have a bag or something, doing every other week trash pickup is complete nonsense. And Veronica, sometimes I don't understand. She has a math degree. She actually has a master's in math from Johns Hopkins University, according to her LinkedIn. I think she has a degree. She went, I don't know if it says she actually got a degree, but she did go to Johns Hopkins and studied math. I don't know. But she can't figure out logistics or the actual cost of business. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's basic business math, business accounting. You can't, the cost of running, you still got to, if you're only picking up trash every other week, that's cost twice as much that 1 week. You're not saving any money. And we're going to get to that. I'm going to bring this back up so you can listen to the rest of this because this is crazy.
not if we have half the town, roughly, senior citizens who are putting out trash every other week. Anyway, some people are only putting out 1 purple bag a month.
Yeah.
People that have large families, that's different. But most of those, I think, are the people that went with private pickup, because they didn't want to deal with the purple bags.
You can't let trash sit 2 weeks. It's gonna just get full of rodents, maggots, and everything else. Go ahead, Carla.
That's what we do.
Mr. Chair, thank you. I'd like to get Glen's thoughts on this, please.
Yeah.
Well,
Every other
it-
week trash?
So,
Every
I
other
mean,
week.
yeah, so every other week. So if, Carl, you said we had 135 ton in December?
Yes.
Say, so 135 ton, we'll divide that by 4 weeks. That's 33.75 tons, right? And we do it in
Weekly.
4 days. Divide that by 4. That's 8.5 ton a day. And if I'm doing 16 ton in a day because it's every other week, I'll have to run 2 trucks.
Two
That-
trucks, 4
That's
guys.
like, that's the maximum, 8.5 ton. That's just trash.
Yeah.
So then the other side of the truck has to
So you don't
hold
really
recycling.
save anything.
Needs to buy new trucks?
Excuse me?
You don't really save anything.
No.
Well, in that
Right.
situation, no, so.
That I can deal with.
It gets
better
more
than
expensive.
that.
I mean, like,
Another thing to also look into.
Unfortunately, trash can't be salvaged and saved. We can't freeze it. It's gotta go weekly.
He's got
I
to
mean,
he's
it
got
would
to lay off his drivers every other week.
Right, that's what I was gonna.
The
point out,
unemployment
that
costs will go up
it's hard
too.
to find help, never mind help every other week.
The, one thing we did do to address this is we have the smaller bags. The $2, what is it, $2 or $2.50? $2.25. So we have the smaller bags, so people can put the bag out every week and not waste a lot of air that they pay.
Okay, more problems. I'm just going to briefly address Paul's comment about the smaller bags. I personally, I mean, if people want to use them, fine. I'm not going to argue. I'm not saying they're bad completely, but I don't like them for myself because I'm a penny pincher. I'll waste money on stuff, believe me, but I'm a penny pincher. And the small purple bags are 15 gallons for $2.25 a bag when you buy them. And you have to buy 10. You have to buy 10 of those now, not 5. You have to buy 10, from my understanding. I apologize if I have that incorrect. But when you buy the bigger bags, which are 32-gallon bags, so it's the small bags are less than half capacity of the bigger bags and cost more. So if you live on the small bags, if you want to do 2 of them, that's $4.50 for 2 small plastic bags, purple bags, and you're shortchanging yourself 4 gallons of volume, the size of the bags, the amount you can physically put into the bags, not weight, volume. So to me, you're screwing yourself by living on the smaller bags. I'd rather let my trash pile up for a month and use the 32-gallon bags for $3.50 because I'm a cheapskate. And that's so I think that for those that like the smaller bags, by all means, but just be aware that they are by volume much more expensive. A dollar, they're $1 more for less ability to throw things away. So that's my speech on those. So I'm not a fan of them. I won't be buying them for the time being. But let me get back to the video so I can get this going.
In the large bags. So those are available now. And,
and if the
But
tonnage,
people aren't putting them
No,
out every
I
week.
just put them on.
okay.
Myself, 5 to 6 weeks. It's just me,
Okay.
but I recycle every week.
Okay. All right.
but if the tonnage numbers were lower and I could like do it in 3 days, I could, but at 8.5 ton, I can't, because it's impossible.
And that's a reduced number actually than what it would have been.
Right.
What she just gave us for last
Right.
quarter.
Now, he's still got to pick up every week because of recycling, but if the tonnage is going down because people aren't throwing out because it costs more money, the town will save on, if we pay for the actual trash, the dump fee, in the long run, we'll save. That way it'll bring the cost,
Yeah.
the overall cost down
Yeah.
considerably.
And if you're nervous,
Paul was absolutely right with that comment. And I was going to save it to the end, but I'm going to address it right now while I'm thinking about it and while it's on the topic. That this program is not one that functions at full capacity when it's rolled out right away, because it takes people a while to figure out. The actual residents try to figure out what they're doing with their trash. And then it takes administration a while, and Shaw's, and everybody that's playing this game to figure out how to best manage this kind of program. And the more the residents figure it out, the better it gets. Because all of us, if we're paying attention, the best thing each of us could do in the community is work together and work smartly. Think, how can I reduce my trash volume? How can I better manage it? And that's one of the golden opportunities with the pay as you throw program. And that's usually why towns start the program. Our Board of Selectmen, prior to who we have, rolled out the pay-as-you-throw actually, it was my suggestion, actually, but I won't take credit right now, even though I just did. But the pay-as-you-throw program is the goal. Usually, when towns do it, is when Townsend did it, they were trying to do a money grab. They needed revenue to pay for other things, and they just threw this out in a quick hurry because they couldn't think of any other way to make money. Don't get me going. But I don't want to cry too much over spilled milk, but here we are, running ragged trying to make this work. You got Nelson having a nervous breakdown. Everybody's afraid, but the first year is it's a workup year. It's the year to get better. This year it's going to be difficult to manage, but and I think when they finally do the contract, they need to look at this as a multi-year change. Like they should maybe only review the numbers in a year. I think just keep doing more reports. But we will, as a town, as individuals, families, whoever we are, over time, this has been proven statewide in all the towns that have been doing this program successfully, that the amount of trash gets reduced, that people throwing less away, and they're more aware of the cost because we own it. We're actually right in front of me, right? I know what my trash disposal costs are. And if I had a family of 7, then I would be really, inventive. I would be really invested in finding ways to cut back on my trash. And even at 1 bag, I'm still that cheapskate. I don't want to put it out this week. I want to stretch it another week. And so what Paul is suggesting is the tonnage is going to go down. And he's absolutely right. The more we focus on how, the more successfully we are on actually making it happen. So this year, it just sucks for everybody. I'm really, really excited that we're doing it in the winter, because then Jim's concerned about maggots and all of us, really, we're not dealing with odors and bugs and rats and everything right now, because it's cold out. It's freezing tonight. It's cold. So we're not dealing with it. If we were rolling this out in the summer, it would be a shit show, disaster. But once the weather turns in the spring, we're going to start to see all of us. We as residents are going to change our behavior, because forget what Jim wants, but what I want at my house, I don't want my trash stinking up. Oh my God, I don't want to be in my house and saying, what's that smell? And my trash is 20 feet away outside and I can smell it in the house. Wrong. So, but our behavior is going to change over the course of a year. And it's only been a few months. So everybody should just take a breather and understand that the numbers that we're seeing, both in tonnage and costs, are going to continue to drop until it finds a balance. We'll get to a point where it don't go down anymore, and it's going to fluctuate around, with a $50,000 play money. There's going to be wiggle depending on what's going on in the world. Let's get back to it. I'm going to try to where's the video? Get it started again.
For budgeting reasons, we can also, I know the numbers skewed because you changed the pay-as-you-throw program, but we can also look back 3 years
Trying to look at that
and get
again.
an average number of how much tonnage you guys threw away
Yeah.
for the year, and and try to give you a ballpark number there,
Yeah.
just for budget reasons.
I think for me, the amount of the cost of the contract has to be very close to the amount that we anticipate bringing in purple bags. We have 3 months of data at this point. And if we can't, I don't see how we can do a trash contract if we can't meet that, because we don't have extra money sitting around to pay for it.
Okay, Cindy.
Yeah, thank you for letting me speak. I think one important issue of the trash contract, or the line item for solid waste pickup, I think that needs to be considered by everybody, is that the residents are paying the $3.50 a purple bag for residential trash. The trash contract is including what you spoke about earlier, town hall, the highway department, the fire department, municipal trash. The purple bag people, we should not be paying for that out of the purple bag money. That's residential trash only. The municipal trash for the public buildings should come out of the tax base. The purple bag should only fund residential trash. Otherwise, it is a tax. It is, that is double taxation.
So do we
Mr.
have
Chairman,
numbers
if I
on
may
what's
ask
picked
some-
up from municipal? Yeah,
Okay,
that would be good.
Kristen has the
If
floor.
I may, ask the town administrator, for the record,
Okay, I just want to quickly pipe in, with all the noise in the room, you might not have heard it. But Glen Shaw, who is sitting right behind me, the owner of Shaw's Trash, that's his son too, who I guess is going to be taking over the business. He's more business. He's a real business guy. He's always got a clipboard. Anyway, I don't know his name. It could be Glen also. I don't know. I'll have to ask one of these days. But anyway, they what Glenn did say is that he can very easily separate those those dollars out, and so I'm very grateful. I'm really happy that he jumped on that opportunity to be able to split those numbers out. And this is his livelihood, so this is all very important to them. So I know that they're willing to bend over backwards to make this work. Because he doesn't want to not have Townsend. It's a good deal. So for him, it's close by. I think they're up in New Ipswich. But anyway, the yeah. So, but I just wanted to mention that Glen Shaw did jump on the opportunity, and he's going to be providing whatever numbers he does come up with on the contract. We'll have those numbers separated out, and we'll need that for town meeting as well, so that at least for me, I want to be able to talk to the townspeople on the town meeting floor to explain those two numbers, that we're not getting screwed. It's the cost of trash is actually less than what we had been thinking about, because municipal trash, I call it municipal trash, the business trash for the government needs to be borne by all the taxpayers, not just the residents. It's complete. That is in my book a 2.5 proposition 2.5 violation to have us residents pay for government produced trash. I think that would be an absolute violation. So I'm going to let you guys get back to the video. So I'm not here all night. It's late at night now.
I'm curious to know, before the pay as you throw program, where was the money coming for paying the contract? Is it true that that from the taxation from property tax, is that coming out, and then at the same time the people that are paying with pay as you throw are double dipping? If you can explain to us if that is the case or not, because there's been a lot of saying, and I just, for the record, I just wanted to have that clear, if that is coming out of our taxes, plus we are paying for the pay as you throw.
In this instance, I would say no, because we're not getting enough revenue, including, tax dollars, to pay for all these expenses. So that's why there's a deficit. So everything that the taxpayers and other various sources of income that we're getting is not enough to pay for all of our expenses. So in this instance, there isn't any double dipping or double taxation involved.
And my other question is, when will we have a clear picture of if the program is adding enough benefit for lowering the cost down for the town of Townsend? I mean, this just started last year, but when will we have an idea of if this is working or not, and what other ideas are we going to have to see if we need to take other actions? I mean, I don't think personally that reducing the amount of time of every other week for picking up the trash will be convenient. I mean, and I concur with the chairman and with Shaw's that the infestation and all these things can be another problem, and then we add more. Probably we have to get involved in that, because we have to think about a plan to to fight the infestation and all that. But
I think we have some data, but, you know, the December numbers should be actually coming out no later than tomorrow, according to Waste Zero. But the problem is, you know, that data is like late November and most of December. And as we know, that's the holiday season. So, you know, that bag revenue, even though we have that information, would be, you know, not the most accurate portrayal of, you know, sort of the trash disposal needs of the town. So we need more data, which I think we'll probably find in hopefully January, February, but we're talking about things now. So it's hard to say at the end of the year or at the moment what how successful this page throw program is going to be. So I think we need to work with what information we have and probably come to a compromise of how much, you know, the trash.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up again. I'm sorry to keep cutting out. I did pick up the speed on the video that I'm showing you because it's taken too long. I want to get this over with. But I want to make a point of, is this a management perspective that it's concerning me, which can be fixed. This can be fixed, and I hope everybody's listening. I know some people in this room are going to watch this video tomorrow, or if they're up late tonight, they'll watch it tonight. I don't know. But the everybody that you're looking at right there, I mean, Nelson Moy, the town administrator, he knows the numbers. He said he's got them. He gets the reports as up to date as he can get. Excuse me, on you know, the revenues and stuff, and even those numbers. All those three guys on the Board of Health should have an up to the minute access to these reports. They shouldn't be held in the town administrator's office, and it should not be only shared with the Board of Selectmen. I think that Veronica, I mean, Laura Schifrin is actually the Board of Health liaison. I don't know what she's getting. I know Veronica just wants to get all kinds of data, and then she goes on and misinterprets it. But if I right now, the Board of Selectmen need to just be over involved in getting numbers. I agree, because they got this whole thing, and it's up to them to make sure it goes smoothly, at least through April. After that, we can have a different conversation. But the gentleman on the Board of Health and Carla need to know all of this data as it's happening, and all of these people need to learn how to assess it, how to interpret the data, and know what it means, and know what it's going to take, and not just get all flustered. It's like, oh, this program's not working, because that's where things had been up until tonight. I'm very impressed with everybody's professionalism. I really am. I have to call everybody out on that. I was worried that we might need the police at this meeting. But anyway, this data that they're talking about right now, it should have been, everybody should be up to date on it. It shouldn't be the town administrator only. And I'm not criticizing him either, although maybe he does deserve some criticism. This needs to get spread around. And even the Board of Health should be, either through Carla or not, should be in more contact with Nelson to make sure that this information is getting spread. The Board of Health, I want to see the Board of Health get more involved, because they lost control of this trash problem, and I want to see them get it back. It's really a big mission I have. Is the Board of Selectmen needs to be an advisor on the budget, but not running the trash. This needs to be a Board of Health thing. But I'm on my soapbox. I'll get off of it. Let me get this video running again.
Trash program can be funded by page throw and you know, the taxpayers.
Glenn, as far as what you did last year and what you're doing this year, is the tonnage about the same?
It's a little different.
How much has it increased?
Honestly, I didn't like go through that whole thing yet.
Okay, one more simple question. Do you think it's increased considerably or just a little?
No, it's decreased.
It's decreased
Yes.
because of more recycling and all that other stuff?
I think recycling's up a little bit, but trash is definitely down. So So the pay-as-you-throw program, I don't think the purple bags is gonna cover the contract. I think it's a supplement to help pay for it.
I don't think it will either. I think in a lot of cities and towns, it is a fully funded program. But for the most part, what I've seen in all the data is it's always like it's a combination.
Right.
Pay as you throw pays for a good percentage of the program, but the other portion is paid for by, general fund, tax dollars.
The only thing I was gonna say is they actually started selling bags when, Carla?
October 1st.
No, the bags were being sold before October 1st.
Years ago.
Oh, the overflow bags?
Yeah,
Those started in 2015.
no, the purple bags, I bought my purple bags before October 1st.
2015.
Yes,
2015.
2015.
They were overflow bags prior to
No, I
October
didn't,
1st.
never had overflow. I'm talking about the purple bags this past year.
2015.
October 1st.
Those were overflow bags. that
We've
you
always
bought
had them.
I never bought bags.
Well, that's okay.
You never bought bags, but
You never needed
the
to.
bags that you bought for October 1st.
I never bought one either.
Or,
Easy now.
So
easy.
can I
oh,
clarify
but they
this?
were purple.
But
Yeah.
So-
let Glenn have the floor,
They
please.
just didn't have the town.
So
Ladies,
implement
let
them.
Glenn
So
have
in
the floor, please.
2015, they went to the 64 gallon limit. So if you had more than 64 gallons, then you bought a purple bag. They
Got
call it the overflow bag. So they were selling them. We didn't sell a lot. You didn't sell a lot of them. But we sold a few.
At the end of the program, we were making between $10,000 and $15,000 a year. in overflow bags. We were selling them for $3 a bag. You were receiving $1 for a bag, and then the town would receive $2. And that money was voted in 2015 to go to the general revolving fund to help support the recycling center, which now we do not have. Because
That was a big asset when we saw that open, because a lot of stuff went up there. A lot of stuff. Closing that was one of the things you had to do, but it's missed. So,
Mr. Chairman, if I may?
go ahead.
Carla, I have a question. That grant money that we received, is that something that could be recurrent, or is that just a lottery thing? Is that something that we can have an expectation to help subsidize
there's several grants that the town receives from the Board of Health. I believe that you are speaking of the pay-as-you-throw grant.
Yes.
That the town received, and I believe that was $62,000, Nelson?
Yes, and that's actually a agenda item for our next select board meeting.
And they
to
do have
discuss.
that to help implement the program, pay for educational funds, pay for the bags and whatnot.
Yeah, but that is a
It is a
one-time,
one-shot
that is a
deal.
one-time thing.
So it's not something that we can depend on like for the next
Absolutely not.
fiscal year? Okay.
But the money will roll over. You don't have to spend the whole $62,000 this year. The money will roll over.
Actually, I spoke to Irene today and,
Doesn't.
yeah, you have to spend it by June 30th.
Are you serious?
The RDP money that you get, that can roll over, but the pay-as-you-throw grant money, that one-time shot, we have to spend it by the end of June.
How are you gonna spend $62,000 in a year?
It could be
Part of
on,
the contract, right?
she said you can, the bags, that.
I guess we are gonna have a lot of that.
Well, no, with our arrangement with Waste Zero, Irene said they should be able to, work something out to make it eligible.
Do you have that in writing?
No, but I spoke to her today.
Yeah.
And she's talking to her superiors to see how we can make it work. Because I told her I had concerns that, do we have $62,000 worth of eligible expenses to use by the end of June? And she said the bags that's through Waste Zero should be eligible. But she's gonna find out more for us.
When will she have those answers?
Soon, I hope. She didn't give me a timeline, but I literally just spoke to her this morning because prepping for this meeting as well as the meeting next week to talk about pay-as-you-throw grant. So,
And my concern is that, and I think my fellow board members could agree that we just can't put add more money to the taxpayers.
No, you
Because we
can't.
just, we just can't. And then I know that as a town administrator, it's hard juggling between the trash contract and at the same time, not hiding more the money from our taxpayers, because that was our concern about this. I don't think that our families can, it could be impossible. I mean, I don't know.
Without that said, I think there isn't money in the general fund through taxes to pay for the additional costs. The way we did it this year, DLS said 40K a month was what we could expect to get from purple bags. And we had to come up with the remainder. That money came from ARPA funds. We do not have those funds. So it will either be staff layoffs or or fees, which means
Okay, that's the nonsense that I was talking about at the beginning, that Veronica's just off the rails. When she reported that DOR said $40,000 a month is what they estimate that we're getting for the purple bag stuff, and that's a good number because it covers residential trash. That's all it can cover. That extra couple $100,000, which she did use ARPA money for, is from it will always be that discrepancy because the municipal trash money, it's municipal trash that she's using the ARPA money for. So that has to be in the general fund. And she can't institute trash fees because so that we can, again, residential trash users are going to pay for the municipal trash. Ain't happening, lady. And if you do away with trash altogether, you're still going to have a couple $100,000 on the trash pickup for the business end of things. And I don't mean town businesses, I mean town hall and whatnot. You're still going to have to get that out of the tax base. You can't charge residents a fee. That's a tax. That's called a tax. And you can talk to us about an override, but you got things so screwed up with overrides, Veronica, that townspeople don't trust you. So get override out of your head, and you're stuck with this 200,000. You're going to have to cover without using purple bags for it. You can't do that. So anyway, there's my 2 cents on that issue. Let's bring back the video.
it's an additional charge to the town people or an override, which is a possibility for the schools. It was 50-50, almost equally, as far as the vote went. It passed and then it didn't. So we're talking 2 or 3 votes in the town. So it really depends on who comes out to vote, whether or not an override passes. But there is not money beyond the purple bag fees in the town budget to pay for the trash. It went to the schools. We didn't have an override and we had to fund the schools. The only place that the Board of Selectmen could get the money from was trash fees, because those do not have to come out of the general fund by law, as Adam explained at the town meeting in May. They can be funded through fees assessed to all taxpayers. So that was what happened. We've managed it for a year, but I honestly don't know where we are going to get $200 to $300 to cover the rest of the contract next year if all the people in town are not participating in the purple bag program, and we don't have 100% buy-in. And so if that's the case, either whatever Mr. Shaw comes up with, we have to take and reduce by 25%, even though he's contracted to pick up at every household, he doesn't. And so it has to either be cut that way, or we have to assess a fee to all households. That's what I see. Or we lay off people. We have to get the money somewhere else.
Maybe we can use those funds to promote the program, try to tell people, please support the program.
That's a good idea.
And
It is for education and outreach, so we can certainly use some of that money to put towards that cause. But I think all those options are on the table. You know, we're still developing the budget. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I think all those options are on the table.
But I do think we need to know what trash is going to cost us.
Yeah.
So when we're doing the budget over the next month and a half, we have a realistic sense. It doesn't come in 2 weeks before town meeting.
Yeah, Veronica, Cindy's got to end up.
Yeah, I one more comment regarding that 62,000. I think that's wonderful that we have some money left. But education, I drive around town. I've been trying to keep track of what's going on with the trash. And what I see is a lot of people that aren't recycling properly. And I know that Shaw's, if somebody's got wet cardboard, it's not going in the recycling side. You can't put it in there because they can't recycle that. People have, lids off of their trash cans. I've been at meetings here before where he can't pick that up because it's wet. He can't put wet recycling on the recycling side of the truck. So it goes in the trash side, even though we got the purple bag thing, but people are still not recycling properly. And people are putting clear plastic bags full of recycling. I saw that after Christmas. I went around to see what people were doing because I know people still don't understand you can't put your recycling in a plastic bag. And going around through a neighborhood a second time after the trucks go through, it's gone. So that means he picked it up and put it in the trash side, even though He shouldn't have, in my opinion. I don't want to get into a debate with you at all. I'm trying to be nice. But I think that we need more enforcement. Like Shaw's should not be picking up improperly prepared recycling.
Okay,
But we also need to
we get a
educate
lot
the
of
public,
yeah.
and we can put money into education from even professional videos, but getting mailings, getting more education about what you can't do with the recycling, what you can do
Want
with
to
it.
become the educational chairman?
I would love it, but the selectman will never appoint me to picking up trash myself. But there's so much that people just don't know, and then I think Shaw's can be more strict
It's a
on
very
the
difficult
contract
thing.
itself.
It's a
And I know
very-
it's tough, but it can be done.
Time out. It's a very difficult thing to educate the public on how to properly recycle and do their
I know.
trash.
But
Very
we got money. We got money. Do it.
Yeah, we're putting it in a valiant going forward to make it work. It's gonna take a little while for everybody to adjust to it, but it's the coming.
But we
This is
can't
what's
afford
gonna
not to. We can't afford to
I'm agreeing with
let
you.
too much time go by.
I'm agreeing with you.
And next year will be cheaper than this year
Mr.
because
Chairman,
of the
I
education.
don't know if the people that are on Zoom have any questions for us. I know that we have talked, but we haven't given them any.
I don't recall anybody coming in on Zoom. Anybody on Zoom want to say anything?
There's, looks like 8 people on Zoom,
That's all, well, right here.
Somebody has
No,
their
I
hand
don't
up?
think anybody wants
over
that.
on the right.
Do they have their hands?
Can I address the recycling thing real quick?
Yes, go for it.
So the plants do not like recyclables in a plastic bag. Get stuck in their machines. Saying that, it still goes through the plant. Most of it does get recycled, but on the occasion, they have pickers, and if the bags don't rip open by the time they get to the top, they get thrown off to the side. So we do send like all the recycle, like she said, the wet cardboard, the plastic bags, all that stuff does go in recycling because it's the same amount of money whether I throw it in the trash or I throw it in recycling. Recycling and trash, pretty much the same amount of money to get rid of. So we do pick it up. Does it all get recycled? The plant that we send it to, I think it was, what did he say the other day, was 19 to 22% of the stuff that goes through the plant is not recycled. But
Okay, I'm cutting in again. Sorry. The number Glenn just gave, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting to put the camera on him. I'm just sitting there just listening. But anyway, I'm going to bring myself back in here. The 19 to 20% number that he was saying, that's called the contamination rate. Every now and then people hear me talking about contamination rate, and it's like, what is Cindy talking about? The contamination rate is the unrecyclable junk that ends up that gets attempted to be recycled. The recycling plant reject rate is 19 to 20%. Now that impacts the overall cost. I'm not going to get into any kind of complicated formula here, but with a contamination rate, that means even the stuff that was recyclable until it came in contact with something to contaminate it. Like some of you may not know that shredded paper is not recyclable. If somebody puts a bag of shredded paper into their recycling, and it will contaminate the entire load. You'll have little shreds of paper all over your laundry detergent bottle. Okay, you can't get it off. So what you end up with is a bunch of, and then you got the wet cardboard, water that adds tonnage, by the way, that adds cost. But the contamination rate includes, that shredded paper gets all over everything. Or if somebody put coffee grounds for some crazy reason into their recycling, which is not recyclable, it contaminates everything. But I mean, those are some of the extreme examples. But what Glenn is saying, that 19 to 22% of our trash is that our recycling is not being recycled, and that ends up coming back to us in the tonnage for trash. So we're getting charged, and Glenn is too, that extra 22%, up to 22%. We can all work harder. I would like to see Shaw's be more restrictive on what he picks up. I'd really like him to leave some of it behind. You don't have to be a complete total, but he needs to. I think it would help all of us and help with the education piece if he were leaving some of the improperly packaged recycling behind. And then as a town, we can work on the other end and educate on how you should be doing it. Because when people see, well, how come they left some of my recycling? They took some of it, but they didn't take it all. How come? Well, now we can teach you. And we can have education moving from both directions, and that 20% can get reduced greatly. I'd like to see it at 0, but we could get it down to 10, 15, and that would be more cost effective for all of us. And some of these savings can't be seen until the second year of this contract, because the education takes a little bit of time, and some of these policy activations, or what do you want to call it? I don't know. But the change in behavior, it comes slowly. But that contamination rate is a very important number that everybody should be paying attention to, because it can be reduced. And I'm learning a lot of this stuff. I've learned that really from Mass Department of Environmental Protection. That's who statewide on the state level manages trash. And some of these things they talk about, they have YouTube videos as well for municipalities, communities to learn how to manage their trash stuff. And that contamination rate is a very important number. It's one of the most important reports that a town can get. And we haven't been getting it because we didn't know we could get it. We didn't know what it means. And I really want to educate everybody on that number. So I'm getting tired, people. Let's get this going.
But
We
with
need
some
it, we
errors.
need an instructional video.
But saying that, a
What
lot
was
of the
there?
glass is the heavy stuff that actually goes through the machines, and they don't consider that recycled because they use it for different stuff. It still gets used, but they don't consider it a recyclable.
That's all
I
the glass?
think I need to be educated.
What?
That's all the
And I
glass?
think
Not all the
Too.
glass, just certain, just
Color-
because
color
because
glass.
a lot of the glass gets broken, and when it goes through the machines, they call it like a fine. I'll call it a fine.
Mhm.
That falls down through, but you get all the little caps mixed in with it, like the caps from the plastic jugs, the milk jugs, and all that stuff, and the little pieces of plastic that break off anything. That all gets at the bottom of the fines, and they actually use it for landfill cover. So it does get used, so they don't have to use gravel and stuff like that, and they use that for a landfill cover.
Carla?
Just to let Lori know and others, several years ago, I think when we went to the overflow bags after we got down to the 64 gallons, Irene had a great video. It was on cable. It was available on the website. And I think that we could probably work with her. She is our DEP MAC coordinator. So get some videos and get them out. I think that's a great idea. But they are available. There are instructional videos.
We still have, go ahead.
Maybe we could get them to be shown in schools. And then
Yeah,
the kids
schools
will
as
say,
well. That would be
don't
perfect.
do it. Don't
That's
do it.
brilliant,
Yeah.
actually.
In the Townsend schools, the schools that are in town, not necessarily the high school, but.
If you give them their budget, they'd be glad to.
They already have it.
Hold
They
this
have
up.
it.
They got
Yeah,
the-
they have it, but-
Okay, we about all done on this subject? I believe so. So Glenn will give us some pricing proposals within the next week or
So
so
the next week, yeah.
for both options, and, we can evaluate what that looks like. I am very curious of what it's gonna look like.
Yeah, I think this is all going in a very positive direction. It's all good, Carla.
Would we like to have another joint meeting on the 28th if it pleases the selectmen to come to our next meeting?
A special
We have a town
town
meeting.
Special town meeting.
I guess we're not meeting on the 28th.
No.
We'll have to talk about that.
We are meeting next week, and we'd love to see you.
Say on the 28th.
On the 14th.
Okay, everybody. I'm going to bring myself back up. In fact, I'm going to bring myself all the way up. The meeting here was winding down. There's a little bit more to it. They were talking about they're going to meet again. The Board of Selectmen, the Board of Health. They had such a good time tonight that they're going to meet again next Tuesday, which is the 21st. They're going to meet upstairs in the Selectmen's chambers. It'll be more comfortable for everybody, I think. Plus, then they're going to have another meeting on the 29th. Now, I'm going to take the opportunity to ask everybody to go to the special town meeting. We have a special town meeting on January 28th. As long as free cash gets certified, that meeting will take place. If free cash does not get certified before then, it should. I can't think of any reason. Nelson would know if there's anything to worry about. But we should have, anyway, I'm probably putting fear into nobody. But we have a special town meeting on the 28th of January. It should be a little contentious. I'm not going to get into it because I'm tired. But there's not a lot on the agenda. But there's a couple things. Yeah, but because we have to have our fall town meeting, there's miscellaneous nonsense. It's not the heavy duty that we have in May, but it's important. We need a quorum. We need 75 people to show up out of like 7,000 voters or 6,000 voters. Come on, you can cough up 75 people now. But anyway, it'll be the Tuesday, the 28th, it'll be at Town Hall. So be there. But I want to thank everybody for sticking with me through this meeting. And I just wanted to make sure everybody knows all the ins and outs of how important this trash contract stuff is and that it is rolling. And you could see, I wanted to also let people know the lack of information, the just misinformation, even for these folks, and that they're learning. And I'm really glad I went, because I think that I educated a few people on a couple things, or made them think that things they hadn't thought about. But hopefully we can make some progress. So I'm going to have an important announcement tomorrow, by the way. But I'm going to save that. I was going to put it on here, but I'm too tired. I'm going to finish this off. Yeah, it's after 10 on Tuesday night. I wanted to get this video out because if I put it off till tomorrow, it'll just drag around and I might not get to it because I've been getting lazy. So, okay. So thanks everybody. I think that's all I got. This video will be the only one available for a couple of days because the town takes longer to get their videos up than I do when I get around to doing them. Okay. So, I think that's all I have. If you haven't already, please subscribe and don't forget to like the video, and please, share this video. Share it with your friends, wherever you park yourself on the internet. You can send it off to different people. And hopefully, I haven't bored to death people that don't live in Townsend. But see, this is kind of things that small towns go through all the time. But I really appreciate everybody, and thanks to all my new subscribers that I've been picking up. I ran a bunch of silly shorts that I flew. Anyway. Okay, I'm going to finally stop talking. I'm tired. All right, have a good night, and I will I'll see you tomorrow, because I'm going to be posting another video. At least one more video tomorrow. So, all right. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching.